On this edition of Maury County Now, Columbia Breakfast Rotary and Natchez Hill Vineyard are warming up for this year's Sunset Symphony. Adam Southern is back with another historic Maury County featuring the history of the Sundown Drive-In. The Highway 50 Drive-In Theater is looking to bring back some of that movie magic. And finally, United Way campaign video for 2013, Through You. All this and more on this edition of Maury County Now. Hello and welcome to Maury County Now, Columbia and Maury County's news show covering the events, ideas, groups, and happenings in and around Maury County. The Sunset Symphony is getting ready to strike a chord on September 7th. Here's Ed Honecker with Columbia Breakfast Rotary and Jim Odom with Natchez Hills Vineyard to talk about what's different at this year's event.
Hello, I'm Ed Honecker of the Columbia Breakfast Rotary Club. This year we're sponsoring the 2013 Sunset Symphony. This year is going to be held at the Natchez Hills Vineyard in Hampshire, Tennessee. This year is going to be different from the standpoint that it's going to be held at the Natchez Hills Vineyard. We're going to have artisans from the gates will open at 4 o'clock. The meal will be served at 5:30. The Maury County Community Band comes on at 5:30. They'll play from 5:30 to 6:30. 7 o'clock, the Big Thrill Band from Nashville, Tennessee will be performing. The purpose of Sunset Symphony is it's one of the Columbia Breakfast Rotary Club's 3 fundraisers to raise funds that we can in turn give back to the Maury County community, to the nonprofits within the community itself. Over the 12 years of the Symphony, we have contributed over $200,000 back into the community to such entities as the Boys and Girls Club, the Riverwalk Park. The project this year will be a matching grant at $15,000 that we're matching the City of Columbia for a playground at the Ridley Park Sports Complex.
Hi, my name is Jim Odom. I am the owner, along with my wife Karen, of Natchez Hills Vineyard and Natchez Hills Bed and Breakfast, located about 5 minutes from the vineyard property. We've been on the property since 2008. We've just celebrated our first anniversary for the opening of the winery and the tasting room, so we're excited about that. My wife and I started looking for property, and believe it or not, she found this property on Craigslist. It was a 20-acre tract. All the buildings were here, a big event center that was already in place, and 3 acres where the soil looked like northern Italy. And so it was that time, that was the aha moment where our passions of music and wine collided, and we decided to plant a vineyard, have a winery, and do an event center where we have music events and we do weddings and other type of events, and we've been doing that for the last couple of years. So here we are. Our vineyard gets its first harvest this year, here in just the next week or so. We're excited about that. In the meantime, we've brought in grapes from Washington State and California and Virginia to have our first wine offerings. We at the vineyard are excited this year to host Sunset Symphony. It's a fundraiser for the Columbia Breakfast Rotary Club, of which I'm a member. I know for a lot of years the Sunset Symphony's been held in Columbia. We've changed the dates this year to move toward a cooler part of the year and a more weather predictable type of year. The vineyard is going to be a beautiful setting for that event. You can find more information about going to our website, www.natchezhills.com, or you can also go to the Sunset Symphony website, and I believe that's cbrsunsetsymphony.com, and also check out the Sunset Symphony Facebook. A lot of information there.
Adam Southern is back to light up your night with the history of the Sundown Drive-In Movie Theater. Let's all go to the lobby on this edition of Historic Maury County.
I'm Adam Sundown. This is another edition of Historic Maury County, and today we're going to talk about drive-in theaters. Now, it's very popular to pick up your girl in your favorite car and take her to the theater, park in the back row if you know what I mean. But you couldn't do that in Maury County until September of 1950. That's when they opened the Sundown Theater. Now, many have great memories of the Sundown. They remember Jerry Lee Lewis coming and playing his piano on top of the concession stand. And when he was finished playing, he crashed that piano all to pieces. Buford Puster was here in the 70s when they released Walking Tall. He stood on top of the concession stand and talked to the audience, and he had that big stick with him too. Other people remember coming in and trying to sneak into the Sundown. They would put people in the trunk of their car to get in without paying. Or they remember the carload nights where you could pay just for the carload. So they would get up to 10 or 15 people into one car to see how many they could get in for free. Well, Maury County had two drive-in theaters. One was the Dandy on Pulaski Highway, and the other was the Sundown here on Nashville Highway. The Sundown started in September of 1950, and in 1954 the Vincents came into ownership of the Sundown, and they operated up until the 1980s when it closed. The Sundown was very innovative. They were the first independent drive-in theater to go speakerless in 1979. So that meant that they tuned into a radio station to hear what was going on in the movies instead of having a speaker you put on your window. So very innovative at that time. Sadly, we lost the Sundown. All that remains is a vacant field and fond memories. Many people can remember the field just to my right here. There are homes just standing just in those trees. They remember climbing those trees and watching the movies. So just a lot of memories here. Sadly, we weren't able to save the Sundown Theater, but our sistering town of Lewisburg, you can help them save their drive-in theater. The Highway 50 Drive-In Theater in Lewisburg, Tennessee needs our help. So visit projectdrivein.com to see how you can help them. This has been Adam Southern with another edition of Historic Maury County. Come see me at the library.
There is nothing more American than the drive-in movie theater. But sadly, many have dimmed their screens for the last time. Here's the Wakems on how they plan on reviving the Highway 50 Drive-In Theater in Lewisburg and how you can help bring back the magic of the silver screen.
We're the Wakems, and we bought the drive-in this year. It was founded in 1946, which is the longest operating drive-in. It's been consecutive year after year, except for this last year. The previous owners were Gary and June Douglas. They ran it for about 19 years. They had a little episode with health here recently and decided they want to sell it back in January. At the time, we didn't know if we were interested or not, and it just came to be one of those things where we just thought about it. And my dad used to work here. I had two uncles that used to work here. We have an aunt and uncle whose first date was here. They've been married for 35 years, and their first date was here. So that's pretty important. This community has had this drive-in for a long time. We've been on dates here. The kids have played here. You know, it got more and more missed as the time went on. So we decided to purchase it, and we're pretty excited that we get to bring this back to the community. We plan on remodeling the bathrooms, painting the screen. We're going to rewrap some neon, give it the 50s look. We're going to take some corrugated steel back into the place, I think, a little bit. The sign needs some work. The place has just been a little bit run down. It just needs some TLC. Honda this year decided that they wanted to promote drive-ins, and they're giving away 5 free projectors to the top voters. projectdrivein.com/vote56. What the whole campaign is doing is trying to show the awareness that in the end of this year, 35mm, which is the traditional form factor for film, is going away. It's very expensive to produce that kind of stuff and deliver it. So everything's going digital. Most everything already is digital. Everybody, when you go to a movie theater, almost everything's digital these days. And it's a real big risk because it's a super expensive operation, and most drive-ins are going to shut down at the end of this year if they can't convert. So it's a pretty big, important thing, and it's awesome that Honda's doing that. We are going to make a little bit of changes. Traditionally, this has been open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. In the summer, we're hoping to open it 7 days a week. We're currently taking donations, and we're pre-selling date night and family night packages, so we can try to raise up as much revenue for this projector as we can.
There are many things that bring a community together. but none more powerful than that of generosity. The United Way makes it possible for you to help those less fortunate and show that being united only happens through you.
The funds that the United Way give to the YMCA help us to offer personal training, nutrition counseling, lymphatic screening, and support to our after breast cancer participants.
The support United Way provides helps support the overall structure of CASA. My clients are children in DCS custody. They're there because they're dependent and neglected.
They've helped me because I have 3 children and I need help with my electric bill sometimes, and I come here and get help with my electric bill. They also help me with my children's school supplies, Christmas. They help me with food, everything, anything you need, you can come to the Family Center and they will help you.
Here at McDowell, we have used money from the donations to United Way to help fund students who need school supplies, who maybe their parents can't afford. Also to provide school uniforms. Sometimes children outgrow their clothing, their school-approved uniforms quicker than their parents can afford to replace them.
We are able to provide services such as support, court advocacy, shelter, and basic needs that they may need when they're fleeing domestic violence.
It helps children get access to books because Andrew loves books and he will sit all day pulling books off his shelf, opening and closing them. And without the Imagination Library, we wouldn't have so many.
The United Way helps Harvest Share, and they donate monies to Harvest Share. Without that, we wouldn't be able to get as much food as we do get. The population that comes in here every month is immense, and it's greatly appreciated.
And a lot of people that normally couldn't get treatment get it here. We have a lot of success, and a lot of people leave here going to live, you know, meaningful lives. And it's just a big thing for Maury County.
There was a client one day that came in, it was the first cold winter morning, and looked down and her feet were bare as far as she did have on shoes, but she had on no socks. It was really cold morning. And, you know, I just commented, your feet must be cold. And she said, you know, I only had 1 pair of socks this morning and my daughter had to stand at the bus stop and I didn't. A small donation of $1, $2, $5 could buy socks for a family. I've never had to choose whether or not I wore a pair of socks or my kids wore a pair of socks. So something very small, any gift in any amount would be directly beneficial for our clients.
We are provided a certain amount of money to help these individuals. And it's not a lot. And we are having more and more new people come to us. And so every dollar counts.
The donation that you provide through United Way help us to be able to provide the After Breast Cancer program, because without the United Way gift, we may not be able to offer that to the survivors and patients that come in, and we would hate to close our doors to them.
United Way helps a lot of agencies in our area, and without those agencies, we would have a lot of people that would go without, whether it's services for domestic violence, sexual assault, food, any other agency that they work with. And the fact that you give that dollar makes a huge impact in our community.
I think it's very important to give to the United Way because some kids may not be able to get books, you know, may not have the access or the resources to get them. And this way they can get as many as, what is it, in 12, however many years, 1 book a month. I think it's great.
Well, I know that even if you feel like you cannot afford to donate a large amount of money, just a small amount, and your small donation coupled with someone else's small donation, it adds up and it goes a long way. So if you could even afford just to give a small amount that you wouldn't miss on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, it could add up and really make an impact on someone's life.
Well, I would just say to them that they're going to help somebody's life. Even some of the people that just come through here and don't stay, they have a good experience. We need all we can get, and it all goes back into the place of hope.
Through you means to me that when 1 in 8 women that you know hears 4 words: you have breast cancer. There is hope for them to recover, to get back to their new normal.
Through you means through me. I am an individual, so what can I do to help someone else?
Through you, it means a lot, because as an individual, all I can do through me, it means a lot to the United Way and to the county of Maury County. And I would step forward through me to do my best to improve the United Way in any kind of way that I could.
I think through you could mean for any age, any background, any ability to give, but through that person, through you, the giver, you could directly impact and make a large difference in someone's day-to-day life, providing them with basic needs, basic toiletries, anything that they might have that we take for granted every day.
Through you means to me that through the population and even Maury County, that you can contribute to your community. You can help.
Through you.
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 Through the United Way.
Through the United Way.
Through the United Way.
Through the United Way.
Through the United Way of Maury County.
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 To find out more information about any of the stories you've seen on this edition of Maury County Now, please check out our website, maurycountynow.com, and look in the show notes for more details. Thanks for watching Maury County Now. We'll see you next time.